Are you over 60 and feel that your energy or intimate performance is not what it used to? Today I'm going to show you how a simple breakfast with the right foods can make all the difference to your intimate circulation and male vitality. Stay with me until the end and find out what to include in your breakfast to regain your vigor and confidence. When a man reaches the age of 60, his body begins to undergo natural changes that are part of the aging process. Among these changes, one of the most sensitive and often ignored or treated with embarrassment is the reduction of blood circulation in the intimate region. Although it is a delicate subject, it is essential to understand it clearly and maturely, as it is directly related to quality of life, self-esteem, cardiovascular health, and even male longevity. Blood circulation is responsible for transporting oxygen and nutrients to all cells in the body. In the specific case of the male intimate region, good circulation ensures the proper functioning of the corpora cavernosa of the penis, structures that need to be well irrigated to allow erection and consequently a satisfying sex life. Over the years, however, factors such as hardening of the arteries, accumulation of fatty plaques, atherosclerosis, a sedentary lifestyle, and even poor eating habits contribute to the narrowing and partial or total obstruction of blood vessels. This results in poor blood flow to the genital region, which directly compromises erectile function. It is important to note that this condition is not just a sexual problem. Erectile dysfunction, which often begins with intimate circulation difficulties, can be the first sign of more serious cardiovascular diseases. Scientific studies have shown that the vessels in the penis are narrower than those in the coronary arteries. In other words, difficulty maintaining an erection can be an early warning sign for a possible heart attack or stroke in the future. Therefore, taking care of your intimate circulation is not just a matter of sexual well-being, it is a preventive measure for overall health and in many cases a real lifesaver. From the age of 60, testosterone production also begins to decline more significantly. This affects not only libido, but also muscle density, energy levels, mood, and once again, vascular health. Testosterone plays a key role in maintaining the elasticity and tone of blood vessels, as well as promoting the production of nitric oxide, a substance essential for the dilation of arteries during sexual arousal. The hormonal decline, combined with poor circulation, creates a scenario conducive to the emergence of dysfunctions that affect male virility and self-confidence. In addition, aging can bring with it diseases such as hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol, which are direct enemies of good circulation. These health problems interfere with the functioning of the endothelium, the inner layer that lines the blood vessels, impairing the release of vasodilator substances. Over time, blood flow becomes more restricted, slow, and inefficient, directly impacting erectile response and sensitivity in the intimate region. Many men, upon noticing these changes, enter a cycle of silence, insecurity, and even isolation, believing that it is a sign of aging and that there is no possible solution. But this idea is mistaken. The good news is that, although inevitable, these changes can be mitigated and in many cases even reversed with conscious choices and healthy habits. And that's where diet comes in as a powerful and accessible tool for any man. A nutritious breakfast, for example, can help reactivate circulation in the early hours of the day, improving physical disposition, oxygenation of the body, and promoting more efficient vascularization of the intimate region. Foods rich in antioxidants, fiber, good fats, and bioactive compounds have the ability to cleanse blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and stimulate nitric oxide production, contributing to full and functional circulation. Taking care of your intimate health after 60 is an act of self-love, but also of responsibility. It is not just about maintaining an active sex life, but about preserving dignity, emotional well-being, and bodily autonomy. The first step is to understand that intimate circulation is not an isolated phenomenon. It is a reflection of what happens to the entire cardiovascular system, and by taking preventive measures, men can age with more strength, pleasure, and quality. In short, intimate circulation after age 60 cannot be neglected. It is a valuable indicator of overall male health and deserves ongoing attention. With this understanding, we can explore concrete strategies, such as dietary adjustments, starting with a smart breakfast, that can make a big difference in the life of any man who wants to age with vitality and confidence. Poor circulation in the male intimate region is a much more common problem than one might think, especially among men over 60. However, it is often underestimated or confused with purely psychological or hormonal issues. Although emotional and hormonal factors also play a role, it is essential to understand that the root cause of this problem is most often physical conditions that compromise vascular health over the years. Knowledge about these causes is essential not only to reverse the symptoms, but also to prevent further damage to the overall health of mature men. One of the main causes of poor intimate circulation in older men is atherosclerosis, a condition characterized by the buildup of fatty plaques on the walls of the arteries. These plaques, composed mainly of cholesterol, calcium, and cellular debris, reduce the diameter of blood vessels, making blood flow more difficult. In the penis, where vessels are naturally narrower and more sensitive, this blockage has an even more direct impact, making it difficult for enough blood to reach the penis to allow for a firm and lasting erection. The problem is silent and develops over the years, driven mainly by diets high in saturated fats, refined sugars, and ultra-processed foods, as well as a sedentary lifestyle and smoking. Another significant cause is related to chronic high blood pressure, a condition that gradually damages blood vessels. Constantly high blood pressure forces the arteries to work under strain, causing the walls to thicken and lose elasticity. This prevents the vessels from dilating properly when the body requires increased blood flow, such as during sexual arousal. When this flexibility is lost, blood does not circulate effectively, and the immediate consequence is decreased blood flow to the genital region. Many men with high blood pressure do not experience symptoms in their daily lives, and therefore ignore the hidden risks of the disease until these problems begin to manifest themselves in their sex lives. Type 2 diabetes also stands out as one of the most common causes of intimate circulatory dysfunction in older men. High blood glucose levels, maintained for years, damage the walls of blood vessels and directly affect the nerves responsible for sexual response. This damage is known as diabetic neuropathy and interferes with penis sensitivity, making both erection and pleasure difficult. In addition, diabetes reduces the production of nitric oxide, a compound essential for blood vessel dilation during sexual stimulation. The result is slow, inefficient, and often painful circulation, which profoundly compromises the quality of life of diabetic men, both physically and emotionally. Another crucial and often overlooked factor is a sedentary lifestyle. Lack of regular physical activity weakens the cardiovascular system, reduces the blood's ability to carry oxygen, and promotes the accumulation of visceral fat, which is extremely inflammatory. In addition, a sedentary lifestyle negatively affects the production of hormones such as testosterone, which reduces libido and impairs sexual performance. Body movement, especially through aerobic exercise, is essential for keeping blood vessels active, flexible, and responsive. Men who spend most of their time sitting, whether for work or habit, tend to have more restricted blood flow, including in the pelvic region. Smoking is another powerful villain when it comes to vascular health, especially in older adults. Cigarettes contain toxic substances such as nicotine and carbon monoxide, which cause blood vessels to constrict and promote chronic inflammation in the body. This directly contributes to endothelial dysfunction, that is, the malfunctioning of the layer that lines the inside of blood vessels. When this layer is damaged, the artery's ability to dilate is severely impaired, which directly interferes with erectile function. In addition, smoking accelerates the cellular aging process, weakens the heart, and drastically reduces energy levels, impairing overall vitality. Another relevant factor is chronic stress, often present in the lives of older men due to family, financial, or health issues. Constant stress raises cortisol levels in the body, a hormone that, when in excess, promotes abdominal fat accumulation, increases blood pressure, and causes hormonal imbalances that interfere with sexual function. Cortisol also competes with testosterone, reducing its natural production and making it difficult to achieve a satisfactory erection. When stress is not managed, it becomes a vicious cycle that compromises both the body and the mind. Finally, prolonged use of certain medications such as antidepressants, antihypertensives, tranquilizers, and medications for chronic diseases can also have the side effect of reducing blood flow to the intimate region. Although these medications are often essential, it is important for men to have regular medical follow-up, to adjust dosages and seek alternatives if adverse effects begin to impair their sex life and self-esteem. Poor intimate circulation in older men is a multifactorial consequence that results from a combination of poor lifestyle habits, chronic diseases, and the natural aging process. However, it does not have to be accepted as a definitive sentence. By identifying and understanding the causes behind this problem, men can make conscious decisions that directly impact their vascular health and, by extension, their sexual and emotional quality of life. Knowledge is the first step toward change, and it is from there that we can begin to rebuild a fuller, more active, and more confident life, even after the age of 60. When we talk about blood circulation, especially in the male intimate area, we are not just dealing with a localized issue. Vascular health is a direct reflection of what we put on our plates every day, and for men over 60, this relationship between nutrition and intimate performance becomes even more crucial. After all, with advancing age, the body no longer metabolizes food as efficiently, and the demand for certain nutrients intensifies, especially those that promote flexibility, flow, and oxygenation of blood vessels. That's why knowing the essential nutrients for vascular health can mean the difference between a life with limitations and a full, active, and vibrant life. The first great ally of intimate circulation is nitric oxide, a natural molecule produced by our body whose main function is to dilate blood vessels, facilitating blood flow. Without this substance, blood circulates with difficulty, especially in more sensitive areas such as the penis, where erection depends directly on the expansion of the corpora cavernosa. What few people know is that the body needs raw materials to produce nitric oxide, and these raw materials come from food. Two amino acids, arginine and citrulline, play a central role in this process. Arginine is found in foods such as pumpkin seeds, nuts, chestnuts, fish, and chicken. Citrulline is abundant in watermelon. Yes, a simple slice of watermelon in the morning can help improve intimate circulation throughout the day. Another essential group of nutrients are antioxidants, especially flavonoids and polyphenols found in fruits such as strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, purple grapes, pomegranates, and pure cocoa. These natural compounds help fight free radicals, unstable molecules that cause cellular aging and damage the endothelium, which is the inner layer of blood vessels. A healthy endothelium is vital for the production of nitric oxide and for the elasticity of blood vessels. When this tissue is inflamed or damaged, circulation suffers, and with it sexual response is also impaired. Antioxidants act as a kind of internal cleansing, keeping blood vessels free of fatty plaques, preventing clots, and promoting more vigorous and constant blood flow. Good fats, in turn, deserve special mention. Contrary to what was thought in the past, fat is not an enemy of health, as long as it is the right kind. Mono and polyunsaturated fats, found in extra virgin olive oil, avocados, seeds, and oilseeds, are essential for cardiovascular health. Even more important are omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish such as salmon, sardines, tuna, and also in chia and flax seeds. Omega-3 helps reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, increase good cholesterol, HDL, control triglyceride levels, and prevent plaque formation in blood vessels. In addition, it has anti-inflammatory action, which is essential for preserving the integrity of blood vessels and optimizing circulation throughout the body, including the genital region. Vitamin C also plays a strategic role, as in addition to being a powerful antioxidant, it participates directly in the production of collagen, a protein essential for maintaining the structure and elasticity of arteries and veins. Citrus fruits such as oranges, lemons, acerola, kiwi, and vegetables such as broccoli and bell peppers are excellent sources of this vitamin. Regular intake of vitamin C contributes to the health of the vascular system as a whole and enhances the action of nitric oxide, making the vasodilation process even more efficient. Vitamin E is known for its protective action against premature aging of cells and blood vessels. It helps maintain blood fluidity, reducing platelet aggregation, which prevents clogging and improves circulation. It can be found in foods such as sunflower seeds, almonds, avocados, and cold-pressed vegetable oils. Along with it, we have vitamin D, which, although often associated only with bone health, also influences the cardiovascular system and hormone levels, including testosterone. Vitamin D deficiency is linked to an increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and sexual dysfunction. The best way to obtain it is through controlled sun exposure, but it can also be found in eggs, mushrooms, and fatty fish. Minerals cannot be forgotten. Magnesium, for example, participates in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body and is essential for the relaxation of blood vessels. It is present in foods such as spinach, bananas, oats, and legumes. Zinc is essential for testosterone production and sexual function and is found in lean meats, oysters, nuts, and eggs. Without adequate levels of these minerals, the body cannot maintain the hormonal and vascular balance necessary for good intimate health. Few people realize it, but the first meal of the day has a profound impact on men's intimate health, especially after the age of 60. Breakfast, often treated with neglect or even ignored out of habit, laziness, or lack of time, is actually one of the main opportunities that mature men have to activate their metabolism, regulate their hormones, and above all, stimulate blood circulation, including in the genital region. More than just a meal, breakfast is a signal that the body interprets as the start of the day, and depending on what you feed your body at this time, the consequences can be vitality and energy, or sluggishness, fatigue, and over time, sexual dysfunction. After the age of 60, the body undergoes a gradual decline in its basal metabolic rate. This means that it expends less energy at rest and therefore tends to accumulate more fat, especially in the abdominal region. This accumulation of fat is closely linked to an increase in silent inflammation in the body, which impairs circulation and blood vessels. A balanced breakfast can reverse this situation because it activates the metabolism early in the day, helping to control glucose, triglycerides, and insulin levels, all factors that, when poorly regulated, directly affect vascularization and intimate health. An inadequate breakfast based on refined, ultra-processed, and sugar-rich foods starts the day with a glycemic spike, followed by a sharp drop in energy, which triggers fatigue, irritability, and even in a decrease in libido. In contrast, a breakfast rich in fiber, quality protein, good fats, and antioxidants stabilizes energy levels, improves cellular oxygenation, and prepares the body for peak performance throughout the day. Another crucial aspect is the influence of breakfast on hormone production and regulation. Testosterone, the main male hormone, peaks naturally in the early morning hours shortly after waking up. This peak is highly influenced by what the body receives in the first meals of the day. Foods rich in zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and good sources of fat help sustain testosterone levels throughout the day, promoting libido, physical disposition, and sexual response. Skipping breakfast or replacing it with nutrient-poor options such as white bread, cakes, cookies, or black coffee can compromise hormone production, further aggravating the natural decline in testosterone that occurs with aging. In addition to hormones, breakfast also influences the cardiovascular system. After fasting overnight, the blood is thicker, which temporarily increases the risk of poor circulation. A morning meal rich in anti-inflammatory foods with vasodilatory properties such as red fruits, nuts, seeds, and whole grains helps improve blood flow and vessel elasticity. This is essential for blood to reach the intimate region with strength and volume. Good circulation not only facilitates erection, but also improves sensitivity, pleasure, and endurance during sex. In fact, studies show that men who eat a balanced breakfast regularly have a lower incidence of erectile dysfunction and cardiovascular disease than those who skip breakfast or eat nutrient-poor options. There is also a less discussed but equally relevant factor: the psychological impact of starting the day with a nutritious breakfast. This simple practice reinforces a cycle of self-care and self-worth. By dedicating time and attention to the first meal of the day, men send a message to themselves that they are committed to their health and longevity. This strengthens self-esteem, emotional well-being, and even the connection with a partner. After all, intimate performance is not just a physical function. It is deeply linked to self-confidence, a feeling of vitality, and a sense of masculinity, which are often shaken over the years. The ideal breakfast for men over 60 should contain a strategic combination of nutrients. Lean protein sources such as eggs, plain yogurt, or tofu help build muscle and produce hormones. Fruits such as pomegranates, watermelon, and berries provide antioxidants that improve circulation. Pumpkin, chia, and flax seeds provide essential fatty acids and zinc, while oats contribute fiber that regulates cholesterol and blood sugar. Green tea or coffee in moderation can be included as a natural stimulant, as long as there are no medical contraindications. These foods, combined in a simple and enjoyable way, can transform not only a man's intimate performance, but his entire day. When it comes to improving circulation, especially intimate circulation in men over 60, it is impossible not to highlight the direct influence of diet, and within this reality, breakfast plays a strategic role. This is because after hours of fasting during sleep, the body wakes up in a state of high metabolic receptivity. It is at this time that it absorbs nutrients the most, and therefore the food choices made in the early hours of the day can enhance or impair cardiovascular, hormonal, and sexual functioning. Choosing the right ingredients is not just a matter of nutrition, but of biological intelligence. It is understanding that food is not just fuel, but true chemical messengers capable of activating or silencing processes that are fundamental to male vitality. One of the first ingredients that deserves mention in this context is red fruits, such as strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. These fruits are rich in flavonoids, especially anthocyanins, bioactive compounds that have powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. By consuming these fruits regularly, men promote natural dilation of blood vessels, improve arterial elasticity, and favor the production of nitric oxide, the molecule that allows vasodilation, which is essential for erection. In addition, red fruits help reduce fat buildup in the arteries, fight bad cholesterol, and improve insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for men with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Incorporating them into breakfast can be as simple as adding them to plain yogurt, oatmeal, or a morning smoothie. Another powerful ingredient is whole oats, a rich source of soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan. This type of fiber acts directly on cholesterol levels and the health of the endothelium, which is the tissue that lines the blood vessels. A healthy endothelium is able to release nitric oxide in greater quantities, ensuring more efficient circulation, including in the intimate region. In addition, oats have a low glycemic index, which helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, preventing insulin spikes and promoting satiety. It also provides magnesium and zinc, two minerals essential for erectile function and male hormone production. Oats can be eaten as porridge, added to vitamins, or used as a base for healthy homemade pancakes and cakes. Seeds and nuts, such as chia, flaxseed, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds, should also have a place of honor in the breakfast of men seeking to improve their intimate circulation. They are sources of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, and fiber. Omega-3, for example, is widely known for its ability to reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and protect the heart. Vitamin E, in turn, protects endothelial cells against oxidative stress, keeping blood vessels healthy and functional. Zinc acts directly on testosterone production, boosting libido and sexual performance. A small portion of these seeds per day is enough to provide a concentrated dose of benefits, and they can be easily added to yogurt, smoothies, or sprinkled on fruit and salads. Another food especially recommended for mature men is avocado, a fruit rich in monounsaturated fats, potassium, and antioxidants. Regular consumption of avocado helps reduce LDL cholesterol levels and increase HDL, the so-called good cholesterol. This promotes blood flow and prevents artery blockage. In addition, avocados are an excellent source of vitamin B6 and magnesium, which help maintain balanced hormone levels and combat stress, another factor that directly impairs male sexual health. A simple suggestion is to include avocado in the form of a spread on whole wheat bread, or even eat it plain with a drizzle of honey or lemon juice. Watermelon and pomegranate are also highly recommended fruits, as they contain compounds that act directly on vascular health and intimate performance. Watermelon is rich in citrulline, an amino acid that the body converts into arginine, which in turn promotes increased nitric oxide in the blood. Pomegranate is a powerful natural antioxidant, capable of significantly improving endothelial function and reducing blood pressure. Both can be eaten plain or made into natural juices without added sugar. Drinking a glass of pomegranate juice or eating a generous slice of watermelon in the morning can be a real boost to circulation and male vigor. We cannot fail to mention extra virgin olive oil, a healthy fat with anti-inflammatory and vessel protective properties. Rich in phenolic compounds, the fatty acids in olive oil help reduce arterial stiffness and improve the response of blood vessels to stimuli. A spoonful of olive oil in the morning, mixed with whole wheat bread and avocado, for example, can be an excellent choice to enhance the circulatory effects of that first meal. Drinks such as green tea and coffee in moderation can also be beneficial. Green tea is rich in catechins, antioxidants that stimulate fat burning, protect the heart, and promote blood vessel dilation. Coffee, when consumed in moderation, increases the release of adrenaline and improves circulation by causing slight vasodilation. Both can be great choices to accompany breakfast, as long as they are not consumed in excess or artificially sweetened. Aging with health, potency, and vitality is not a matter of luck, but of conscious and consistent choices. Men's intimate health after age 60 can and should be cared for naturally, with respect for one's own body and, above all, with information. Small adjustments to your routine, starting with a nutritious and strategic breakfast, have the power to transform circulation, improve hormone production, and restore self-confidence in mature men. Every meal is an opportunity to invest in yourself. Therefore, taking care of your diet, habits, and mind is more than a necessity. It is an act of courage, dignity, and self-love, because aging well does not mean losing vigor, but rather learning to cultivate it every day with intelligence and attitude.